G'day viewers, I'm Simon Christie and welcome to Life Off-Road. This week I've grabbed the mighty Iveco and three mates. We've headed southwest out of Melbourne to an area just north of Anglesey. It's called the Otways or Paddy's Swamp. We've got 2 days of fantastic trails ahead of us, so let's let down those tyres and hit the tracks. Literally 2 hours southwest of Melbourne. Head straight towards the tourist mecca of Anglesey, take a right-hand turn and bang smack, here we are on the dirt, and it's already wet, chopped up, muddy. It's looking like it's going to be a good few days of four-wheel driving.
Hi, I'm Mike from Trek Hardware 4x4 Superstore. I've been invited along by Simon to come down here to the Otways for the weekend. Otways is a fantastic spot. We've had a fair bit of rain in the last week. It's muddy, it's slippery, we've got a load of hills to get through. We'll have a great time here this weekend.
Hi, I'm Brian from 360 Gearbox and Diffs. Yeah, Simon's dragged us down here for the long weekend. It's going to be cold, but it's going to be a heap of fun.
Hi, I'm Wayne from 360 Gearboxes and Diffs. Been asked to come away this weekend, do a little bit of four-wheel driving, something I've never experienced before, so it will be really interesting.
Yeah, g'day, my name's Dale from Terrain Tamer. Today I've been invited by Simon and the team to come along and try some of our Terrain Tamer products on these muddy tracks, which I'm looking forward to. I've also got me little navvy with me today, which is my young fella Liam. So yeah, I'm hoping he can point me in the right directions up these tracks. I don't know how he's going to go running the cables, but we'll see how we go.
Hi, my name's Liam. I'm going to be a navvy for my dad. I'm really excited to go on this trip. I like going in, like driving around in the mud with all the bumps and stuff. And yeah.
Convoy, you right to roll?
Yeah, roger.
Some really nice terrain through here, and the rain is certainly going to make it interesting. Now this section that we're in here, we're just a few kilometres north of the town of Anglesey, and there are a huge diversity of tracks in here that are pretty exciting. We've got a few downhills. I can see a little bit of mud ahead of us. Might pull up here, have a look around and see what we're going to do. Climbing out of our vehicles, we were all excited by what lay ahead. A steep and slippery descent and our first challenge for the trip. We didn't want to bite off more than we could chew, but we were definitely keen to get amongst it with some decent four-wheel driving. Slippery descents like this should be tackled in low range and stick to the ruts. It will generally provide the smoothest ride, but a little bit of bounce is always good fun, especially for our youngest member who was keen to record the action.
All right, crew, once you get down in here, this is a very exciting little challenge. It's looking pretty interesting down here, so get on down.
Doesn't sound good.
Up and we'll get out again and we'll have a look at what's going on here.
Well, we've just arrived at the base of the hill climb that was promised to us, and it is a doozy. You've got 8 different lines to take and a really good mixture of wet, recently driven and dry, hardcore rutted stuff.
Whoa, gee, like we're on the side. Are we supposed to be going up there?
I'd say so.
What? We can't do that. We'll tip over.
The dirt here is so soft. This is the far left of the hill climb looking from the bottom, and it looks to be fairly chopped out. It's one of the hardest sections and the one I want to try in the Iveco. Up here on the top, very soft and powdery, but I think I want to have a crack at driving it, straddling this rut and coming up here on top. It's soft on that side. I've got a little bit of firmness over there and a bit of a bank to push the Iveco into on the right hand side. I reckon that'll keep me stable and I should be straight up and over. Let's give it a crack. Guys, welcome to the first challenge of the day. Hill climbs from the bottom always look so daunting, and that looks massive. Probably the toughest thing about this hill climb will be looking into the sun if it does punch through those clouds. We've got some Interesting options. We're lucky that it's dry. Straight up the guts is the easy option in the Iveco. I think I'm going to have a crack at the hard one over there on the left. So have a look at it, pick the line you want to take.
I think we'll watch you got the Iveco and
Sounds good, mate. We'll watch. Excuse the beeping, but that is front diff lock engaged. Oh, she's soft all right. Looking good now. Up and over. Now nice and gentle coming across onto the slippery stuff. Keep the speed up. Transitioned over onto the wetter track. Pulling firmly, climbing up. We'll get that front diff lock off and make our way to the top. I'll do a quick Yui and we'll go back down so I can watch all the others have a go.
Where we go, mate? Which track?
Where do you want to go? Up that one or that one?
We'll try this one here, eh?
Oh, it's going to be scary.
When we attacked the slippery track, I suppose you'd call him, wasn't too bad. We just had the centre diff lock engaged. Just sort of hung in there in a bit of right pedal. Got us over a couple of little slippery sections and got us up and over, and away we went. Remember that went? Pretty good?
Yeah.
Whoa, where are we going here?
Whoa, that's steep. At the very end, it was like this really vertical thing what just went up and then down.
Bit of a whoopsie. Very good, we conquered it. It was awesome.
Okay, going in the first gear. I'm going to take off in low range, both diff locks on. Hopefully we'll make it to the top. If not, Jack, you're getting a new car. We've been doing some pretty hairy tracks today. This isn't what we designed our 6-speed for, but it's the perfect place to test it. We've designed the 6-speed for a number of reasons. Firstly, it improves the VDJ fuel economy, reduces cabin noise and the RPM. It also makes cruising on the highway a much better experience. But it's important that we know this gearbox is tough, which is why we're out here this weekend testing. With the testing we have done, we are so confident with this gearbox that we'll back it with a 12-month warranty. So looking forward to see what challenges Simon has got installed for us.
With the ample amount of tracks I had planned for the afternoon, I was keen to meet Brian's high expectations of a muddy, hardcore afternoon. But before that, some lunch. On a cold winter's day in the wet, recharging with some fresh cooked food is also a great reminder of how far camping and cooking gear has come since the old days. A good in-car fridge and a portable stove are a far cry from the old solution of an esky and a billy on the campfire. But to a hungry stomach and a busy schedule, a very welcome one. Our bodies recharged and a few more stories of the glory days exchanged, we were ready to once again head off on our Otways off-road adventure. Back up first, Ben.
We survived out there. We found some awesome tracks, some very heavily rutted, a lot of water around, very slippery. We're very well guided and we've had an awesome day. Looking forward to the next few.
We've had some really good times and it's been really slippery. Tracks were awesome, they were really hard to navigate. Simon's direction was really good, he's professional and it was quite easy to drive with his encouragement.
Simon definitely delivered on the tracks this afternoon. He said he was going to give us wet, slippery, rots, hill climbs. We had everything in one section. We're literally 5 minutes from the back of Anglesey, and we had every track you could possibly imagine that you want to test your vehicle on. Front and rear diff lockers, re-geared diffs, 35-inch tyres, and still I couldn't see where I was going. Front of the car was lifting that high, getting wheel lift about a metre off the ground. Needed Simon to show me through it. Had him on the radio, just giving me left hand, right hand down. Made it through. It was a sensational afternoon.
One of the things that makes the Iveco Daily 4x4 such a formidable off-road weapon is the clearance. Now from factory, the vehicle comes with parabolic suspension that is set up in a spring over axle design that gives you quite an amount of height for the vehicle to start with. And that combines perfectly with the approach, departure and ramp over angles to improve and enhance the clearance. Now this vehicle is street legal with 37-inch tyres, and that gives you that extra height not just for the body, the chassis and the undercarriage of the vehicle, but also for the differentials. And that's the clearance that we've really needed in some of the ruts we've been doing this weekend.
It's getting dark. I can't wait for a good feed that Trek Hardware is going to do for us. It's going to be an interesting night.
About to head off to camp. As you can see, it's starting to get dark. It's that time of the year where it's nearly dark at 6 o'clock. So we're going to make a move and I'll get on to camp and cook up dinner for tonight. Got a little bit of a surprise for the guys in store. We're very close to the ocean and I like stuff that comes out of the ocean.
Heard a rumour that Simon's actually got a bit of a night drive plan for us. Interested to see what challenges he puts in front of us. Got some good lighting on the vehicle, so hopefully it's enough to get us through and see where we're going.
We've made it into the Hammond Road campground. Set up camp and the guys are relaxing by the fire, excitedly waiting for dinner. But I think there's still a bit more to be had today, so let's jump back in the vehicles, light up those trails and have a bit more fun.
Well, last night got to experience my first night of four-wheel driving in the dark. Actually, it's my first time away four-wheel driving, period. So to experience the difference between the daylight and nighttime last night was quite different. We experienced some really good fun in watching Simon get the Iveco through an unbelievable bog hole. We had little waves coming out and the cameraman had to run away. It was really good fun. Didn't think he was going to make it, but he kept on persevering, and all of a sudden she roared up the top and we all applauded. It was certainly a sight to see.
Well, that was easy.
Had a good close look to see whether we could get the 360 VDJ in there, but that wasn't going to happen. The night driving is very different to daytime. Obviously you can't see into the bush with the darkness, so you don't know what you're actually going to find. And there were a couple of times there where I was wondering whether we were even going to be able to turn around. Great, great fun.
Boys dumped me last night and headed off out on the tracks for a bit of a night drive. I had the fire going when the boys rolled back into camp, all cold and wet, all excited because they got into some big holes that I missed out on, but I kept them some food with some spare ribs and sauteed scallops and prawns, topped with some chorizo sausage, and yeah, all of us went to bed nice and full.
This weekend is really my first experience away camping and four-wheel driving. And this morning woke up to see what we've got. We've got the barbecue site, We've got kangaroos, birds around, really nice sight, and we finished off with an awesome breakfast from Michael, which was to die for actually.
We've had an awesome breakfast this morning. Thank you to Mike. Once again, he's taken care of us. I just wanted to go through a few things that you may need to carry on those remote area trips. A lot of people sort of overlook stuff and don't take these sort of items with them on trips. But what we do at Terrain Tamer is we have a few different options there. We have the radiator hose kits, the fan belt kits, the heater hose kit, which is sort of one people do forget about. We also do axle stud kits, pre-fuel filter setups. And wheel bearing kits, there will be obviously some special tools that you will need to change the wheel bearings, but as long as you're pretty much mechanically minded, you definitely can get yourself out of trouble. With our kit format, there's no part numbers for anyone to worry about. It's all in the one kit and it's nice and easy. Very high quality components we use. The hoses and belts are OE quality or greater. So that's sort of a bit of a vehicle survival kit. I think it's time to get back out on the tracks. If something does go wrong, at least we know we've got the parts here to get us out of trouble.
Guys, it's a little bit of transit to our first track. We're about 50 metres out of Hammond Campground and I can see it on our left already. Well, this is looking pretty serious to start with. Gonna need some diff locks for this one, I'd say. Copy, Mike.
Yes, sir.
Gonna need a recovery. Well, we're out of this. Got a little bit of an issue with the Iveco. It's more than likely a small technical issue. Basically, the ECU has thrown us into limp mode, but I reckon we're gonna have a fair crack at getting this fixed. So let's get back to camp and see how we go.
There's a number of different sensors that these modern vehicles have today. Highlighted one issue there with the airflow meter, wire disconnected. We'll give some sprays and check everything and see how we go.
With the Daily 4x4 quickly fixed up, we jumped into the cars to have a second crack at that troublesome track. This time around, all of the vehicles punched through the first muddy section with no issues at all. Our engines nicely warmed up, it was time to conquer some more hardcore tracks, so we pushed forward with confidence.
Well, this is no good. Temperature gauge is high. I can smell coolant. Yep, don't know what the go is here. Better get the boys from 360 and Terrain Tamer to come down and have a look, give us a hand.
Or maybe not.
The radiator's out of Mike's vehicle. What we've found is a small crease in the bottom of the radiator tank and all the fluid's drained out of it. So unless we can get another radiator, she's going home on a tow truck.
So I've made some calls to the boys there at Terrain Tamer, and I've got a radiator delivered on site.
Well, what can I say? It's all ready to rock and roll and go back on the tracks. Terrain Tamer did an awesome job getting everything here. We're in the middle of the bush, middle of nowhere. 360 boys, Wayne and Brian, for getting everything out and getting everything back in again. Limited tools in the middle of the Otways. Great job, ready to get back on the tracks and have a bit of fun.
This trip has certainly thrown some challenges at us, from the weather to the tracks themselves through to vehicle breakages, but we've overcome them all. The weather's going to clear, all the vehicles are ready to roll, and there are more tracks for us to explore in this beautiful Otways region. So come along next week as Simon Christie and the team from Life Off-Road continue our adventure down here in southern Victoria. Guys, tread lightly, keep it safe, play hard. We'll see you next week.